Welcome to Section 3 of the Word 2016 course, where we will be covering basic editing. In Section 1 of the course, we learned about the Word 2016 environment, in which there consists the elements we use to get around in Word and access its various functions and features. We learned to use Word's icon and menu-based graphical user interface to identify how and where to locate actions we want to perform, as well as how to interact with the Word program graphical user interface, both from a conceptual and practical perspective through the integration of demonstration and exercise. You should review Section 1 to ensure that you are well prepared to continue along with us as we proceed, as we will be relying on many of the techniques we learned to apply in the Section 1 lectures to the skills we will be learning as we go into basic editing mastery, which is the objective of this section of the course. In Section 2 of the course, we learned about creating, saving, and working with files. We learned how to open multiple document files and work with them by switching between them using options on the View tab of the ribbon. We covered in detail the backstage view and the browse window we get when saving a document and how to navigate to and create folder locations to save our files and the dynamics of the different save features. We learned about the options in Word 2016 for working with files in different formats such as PDF and plain text files. As we concluded Section 2, in the final lecture, Lecture 6, you learned all about document recovery in Word in the event of system crash, failure, or inadvertent major editing error using the autosave recovery feature. You should also review Section 2 of the course to ensure your readiness to continue in this section. In a nutshell, in the lectures of Section 1 and Section 2 of the course, we learned about all the things we do to a document that we don't do in the document, as is often said. The things we do to a file that we don't do in the file, as we demonstrate in Section 2, include maintaining and accessing document files, such as creating, opening, saving, printing, and recovering document files, among other things. With a grasp of the teachings in the previous two sections, you will have attained a strong foundation for completing all sections which will follow as we continue the course. And as you complete this Section 3, that of basic editing, to complement what you have already learned, if practiced and thoroughly applied, you will have achieved a good introductory level of proficiency in using the Word 2016 program. Follow along, and let's start Word, and create a new blank document here as we open Word and get the Word opening screen with the Recent Files pane on the left and the option to create a new document on the right pane, as I'm doing here, by clicking on the blank document icon. Our blank document 1 is then in the text area. Now, also, let's go to the File tab and create a second new document based on an online template. Click the File tab, and then the New option on the left pane of the File tab menu, as I'm doing now. And we get on the right pane, as you see, the same Create options as we get when we start the Word 2016 program. We are now going to create a second new document using an online template. By typing in the words Statement of Work in the search box here where it says Search for Online Templates, as you see me doing, and pressing Enter, we get a list of templates which meet our search criteria, and as you can see, we have Statement of Work as one of them. Let's click on this template to get the preview window of it, and then click Create, as I'm doing. We are then taken back into the text area with this new document created from template now in the text area, ready for us to edit. As we begin to build a foundation for mastering Word 2016 and using its functions and features for processing documents, we will begin by learning about the elements involved when working with the words or data in your document when performing basic editing. The first of these basic elements for you to know when working with the words or data in your document for editing purposes is pointing and selecting. Pointing is moving the mouse around the screen until it is positioned to a location you want an operation to occur. You point with a pointer or with the mouse when it is indicating it is in pointing mode with an upward diagonally pointed arrow, or when it is indicated by a vertical line with facing arrowheads attached, as you see here, as I am moving around on the screen. As I am moving my mouse currently, you see the pointer moving about the screen, and that when I am outside the margins, the pointer is indicated by a diagonally upward pointed arrow, and that when I am within the margins, moving around within text or words, it is indicated by a vertical line with facing arrowheads attached. The purpose of our pointer is to position what we call the cursor into the position we want to insert, delete, or select text or other object. The cursor is the indicator of the current location of where an operation or action, such as the insertion or deletion of text, will occur if you type or press delete, and is the flashing vertical line you see here on the screen where I am moving the pointer around. You indicate to Word the location you want to perform an operation such as insertion or deletion of text by pointing to that location and clicking the left mouse button. When you click the left mouse button on where you want to perform an operation, the cursor will move to that point as I am demonstrating here. Watch as I position the cursor into different locations on the screen by pointing to them first and then clicking the left mouse button. As I move to different locations on the screen and then left click, you can see the flashing cursor jump or move to those locations, indicating that an insertion or deletion will occur here if performed at this instant. Editing a document basically consists of adding or inserting text, deletion of text, and copying or moving portions of text from one location in a document to another place within the document. Let's do some basic editing of this document we currently have in the text area. Let's start by adding or inserting some words in different locations within the various paragraphs of the document. We do this by first pointing to the location we want to insert or add text, click the left mouse button, and then begin typing, as you see me doing here. I'll repeat this a couple of times. I move the cursor from its current location to the location of insertion I want by pointing to that location using the mouse to move the pointer, and then click the left mouse button to begin typing. If you have a touchscreen device, you can touch the screen at the location of insertion with your finger, and the cursor will move to that location as well. We can also use the directional arrows on the keyboard to position the cursor. By pressing the up, down, left, or right directional arrows on the keyboard, let's move to a couple of locations and type in or add words into our document as you see me doing here. To delete text from our document, a single character at a time, we position the cursor in front of the character or characters, meaning letters on the screen we want to delete, and begin pressing the delete key on the keyboard. Let's edit our document by using the pointer or the keyboard to position the cursor to the words we want to delete in a few different places in our document and pressing delete. Word allows us to indicate or select what we want to delete in several ways. If we want to indicate to Word that we want to delete a specific word within our text, we can point to that word and double-click the left mouse button. That word in the text is then highlighted, and we can then delete it by pressing the delete key on the keyboard. Let's demonstrate that now by double-clicking on a couple of words in our document and then pressing delete as I'm doing here. Selecting text means indicating to Word the text in our document we want an operation we are about to perform to be affected by. And selected text is highlighted when it has been selected, indicating that it is the text that will be affected by an operation performed when it is executed. As I demonstrate, you see that when I double-click on a word we want to delete, it is highlighted or selected. We can select an entire paragraph to perform an operation such as delete on by positioning the pointer in that paragraph and rapidly clicking the left mouse button 3 times. Watch as I demonstrate. I'm going to delete a paragraph by positioning the pointer in. I move the pointer anywhere in the paragraph and rapidly click 3 times. The paragraph is highlighted and I click delete. I'll repeat this a couple of times. I point to a paragraph, click rapidly 3 times and press delete. To deselect text that has been selected, just click the left mouse button 1 time and the selected text will be deselected. I'll demonstrate. I select a paragraph by clicking 3 times and it is highlighted, indicating that it has been selected to be affected by whatever operation I will be performing. In order to deselect or unselect the text highlighted, I just click the left mouse button once, as I'm doing here, and the selected text is no longer highlighted, indicating that it has been deselected. I'll repeat this a couple of times. I point to a paragraph, click rapidly 3 times, and the paragraph is selected. I then click the left mouse button once, and the paragraph is deselected, indicated by the highlighting being removed. The same operation of selecting a paragraph can be achieved by positioning the pointer outside the margins where the paragraph is. And when you get the upward diagonally pointed arrow indicator, double-clicking. Watch as I demonstrate. I move the pointer to the outside of the margins of the paragraph I want to select, either to the left or to the right of it, and I get the upward pointing diagonal arrow. I double-click instead of triple-click because I'm outside of the margins and the paragraph is selected. I'll repeat this again by selecting a different paragraph. I move my pointer on the outside of the margins of this paragraph, and you see here I'm getting the upward diagonally pointed arrow. I double-click, and the paragraph is selected, and I can now perform an operation such as delete on the selected text. Selecting when positioned outside of the margins also allows you to select a specific line of text to perform an operation on by clicking once, as you see I'm doing here. I'm moving the pointer to a line that I want deleted from the text, and before I click the left mouse button, I'm making sure I'm outside of the margins pointing to the line. I click the left mouse button when I'm in position outside of the margins to the left, and I click the left mouse button 1 time. The line I want to delete or perform an operation on is selected. By rapidly clicking the left 3 times outside the margins, Word selects all text in the document or the whole document. Watch as I demonstrate. I position the pointer to the outside of the margins, which is indicated by the upward diagonally pointed arrow. I rapidly click the left mouse button 3 times, and as you can see, the whole document is selected. And in order to deselect any text selection, you just click once inside the margins and the text selected will be deselected. You will see in the next segment of the course how once text is selected, you can perform a variety of operations to it. Follow up with us in the next segment This concludes this lecture.